All right, next up is an incredible broadcaster. He has done what I always wanted for everyone in this league, which was be something, be somebody, put you in the spotlight, do something you love, and do something good. And Michael Truilo has done that. He has turned maybe I want to a hobby, to now just killing it with college teams and events all over the southeast area. Michael Truilo is he's something else. He's a rock star around here, and I don't know what else to say because I'm going to get all choked up just watching you grow up. But put it on the board. Michael Truilo is in the Hall of Fame.
Check your eyes. Down in front.
All right. I told myself when I wrote this that I would try to get through it as expeditiously as possible and not take up too much of your time. Little did I know that it would be at almost midnight. So here we go. It's safe to say that without the Simulation Football League, I would not be here. Now that statement is true in a number of ways. Without the SFL, I would not physically be here in a hotel ballroom in Cincinnati talking to all of you. Without the SFL, I would not be here in a professional sense. Having discovered the thing I love most, sports broadcasting, and I certainly would not have had the opportunities that I have had over the past couple of years to turn it into a full-time career. And finally, without the SFL, I may not even be here in this life at all. Let's change gears before this totally gets away from me. And let me do what I do best, tell you a story. It's the summer of 2016, and a young man sits in his car in a lonely parking lot and thinks about what to do with his life. He's just been turned down for an internship at a radio station, doesn't know how he's going to get through his senior year of college without those credits, and is questioning if the goals that he has set for himself and worked over the past 8 years to achieve were worth it. Then, my phone buzzes. It's a Discord message from @SFL Commish telling me I had a broadcasting trial for this Sim YouTube league I'd found. I'd almost forgotten I'd signed up for it. You see, with the exception of FIFA, which I'm actually not bad at, I was never any good at sports games. So I would always let the computer play itself and imagine that I was my childhood heroes like John Sterling, Bob Costas, and Marv Albert. So I thought, why not give this a shot? If I'm terrible, and I was, don't let anybody lie to you. Only 3 people will ever hear it, and I can move on. So I made the first of many leaps of faith, and with no experience and no knowledge of how to do a football broadcast, I set up my laptop, had a music recording microphone, because that's all I had, in a corner of a room in my mother's office, and hopped on Rabbit.tv. Hands up in the audience if you remember Rabbit TV. Not a lot of you are still left. And called the game between the Dallas Roughnecks and the brand new at the time Vancouver Legion. The audio from that game was not saved because that's how Rabbit worked. And I remember being way too excited about every play and stumbling over my words and not having enough notes to fill dead air. And I thought that would be it. That I'd be turned away and never think about it again. But something remarkable happened. 2 days later, I get a call. It's from Cameron Irvine. He says he liked it. Yes, there were some things to fix, but I was on the broadcast team, which at that point I think only had 6 people. And our broadcast meetings every week were determining what games got commentary and what ones just went with the game audio. Far cry from the incredible stacked room of broadcast talent we have today. If you're in the audience and you're on the broadcast team, please stand up. Round of applause for everybody on this team. From that point forward, I was hooked. I had caught the bug, as they say in the play-by-play business. Calling SFL games gave the highlight of every week. It got me through tough classes at school, hard times in my personal life. Even when there were times that I thought I had nothing left to live for, there was always the rosters, the stats, the stories behind the players, and the microphone, where I could shut out the rest of the world for a couple of hours and be somebody else. Somebody I was happy to be. As time went on, I started to get more involved with the SFL community. I took another leap of faith and attended the first SFL convention in Dallas only 8 months after joining the league for the first time. Meeting the people I had known online, in person, and really feeling that I was a part of something larger than myself, I've never missed a convention since, and don't plan to start anytime soon. At the 2019 convention in Atlanta, two of the most important conversations that I've had in my time in the SFL happened on the same night. First, I was cornered by Harish Prasad, Shervan Prasad, and James Klein, who none of those three are in this room. I don't know where Harish is. And they convinced me to become an SFL player, not just a broadcaster. Next season, I was drafted by the Carolina Skyhawks, and the rest, they say, is history. Being a part of Carolina has not only given me another team to root for, another jersey to wear, but a family of atmosphere and people I hope to remain friends with for a very long time.
Hell yeah.
Thanks, Harish, who's not here. The other, and probably more important conversation, sorry Harish, who's not here, came while sitting in a back corner booth while the rest of SFL Nation was enjoying bowling, laser tag, and beer. I sat down with Rich Pratchett and picked his brain about broadcasting. It was this conversation that convinced me to expand my horizons beyond the SFL, to reach out to high schools around me and see if anyone wanted a broadcaster. After about 37 cold call emails, turns out one did. To try new things, to call different sports, to put my name out there, and when I got a call from my local D1 college saying they needed someone to fill in on play-by-play for a couple of basketball games, I was ready, thanks to the encouragement from Rich. Unfortunately, the world took him from us far too soon, and I was never able to share these milestones with the person that initially inspired them. Before I go, there's some people who need specific mention. Andy Hamilton, for helping me get my footing in the broadcast team early on and sharing a ride with me to the Atlanta convention. We also live near each other now. We should hang out more. Chris Curtis, for convincing me to get back into streaming on Twitch, being the best Mario Kart rival and one of the closest friends I've met through this league. Shervan Prasad, who is unfortunately not here, for being another great friend, sharing my love of racing, and convincing me to get up early during conventions to watch Formula One. And once again, Cameron Irvine, for creating the best community on the internet, giving people with the love and passion, but sometimes not quite the athleticism for football, a place to call home, and personally being someone I can go to for advice on pretty much anything. It's people like you who make the world go round. As I gear up for my first full-time college football season as the voice of Bethune-Cookman University, Hail Wildcats! I will inevitably have to take a step back from the organization that gave me a chance to find something I love and continue to foster it for over 7 years now. And while you may not hear my voice over SFL games on YouTube or Next Level Sports as often, I'm not leaving the Discord. I'm certainly not leaving Carolina. I'm not even really leaving the broadcast team. This community means too much to me to ever leave it behind. I'll still be around to talk about my favorite teams in the sports channel, discuss the SFL and life outside of it in general chat, and cheer on the Simulation Football League as it continues to grow beyond our wildest dreams. Thank you.
And you really need to get better English, Mike. It's just, you don't know what you're doing. Well said.